All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, guys. Welcome to Sebastian and Ashley's. I promised everybody I would be making a video about depression and mental health. So my name is Sebastian.
My name is Ashley.
And basically, we met a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And we both suffer from depression and mental illness. All right, people like, me? Ashley, there's no way.
No.
But it's possible, guys, for sure. Want to share the awareness and let people know that, hey, if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. So what's up, Leticia? What's up, Bernice Herrera? So we're basically talking about depression and some topics. What topics are we covering today?
Is depression real? How does it affect daily life?
Mm-hmm.
How you control it? And like, what do you do when you feel disconnected? Because that's one of the things that you really start to witness or go through whenever it gets kind of deep.
All right. So what do you think? Is depression real?
Absolutely. I think that the narrative that it doesn't sometimes come from people who don't understand or are not willing to tolerate people that have it. That's unfortunate because whenever you're going through depression and somebody says, oh, just get over it, it's not real, snap out of it, like, that doesn't help, and it just makes you feel like you're just sinking deeper and deeper into mud.
So, Leticia, my friends brought up a good point. How do you realize you were suffering from depression? What's up, Johnny? And basically, I think it's whenever everything in life that gave you joy at one point no longer makes you happy. Like, I would wake up and I didn't even want to be alive. For some reason, I just didn't even care if I woke up. I kind of just wanted to stay in bed all day. I was dating a girlfriend who in the past made me really happy, super happy. But I would wake up with the emptiness inside me. I didn't even want to hang out with her. And I was like, do I not love this girl no more? What's going on? And, feeling like I don't care anything about anything. You know what I mean? Like, and that's how I felt. And no one understood me until I was with somebody else who was suffering from it. And basically they're able to validate, okay, what you're feeling is real. Also, another thing is how I felt is I felt numb. I felt like I was in my own little world and became very selfish with everything. What about you?
Yeah. Okay, just a second. I see somebody asking, I guess, are we professionals or your own self-awareness? Right now, let me just say this is our own self-awareness. We're not professionals. We're not, if you're really having issues with depression or something like that, first of all, you need to seek the correct avenues of getting some help. I just want to put that out there right now because, like I said, we are not professionals and we're not trying to diagnose anybody or anything like that. But like he was saying, like there's a point when you do start to disconnect from the people you love and the things that you love. And for me, that was whenever I realized, hey, something's not right. I definitely had the same experience of waking up and going, oh crap, I woke up again.
Shit.
And then going, yeah, shit. And then going, man, I want to go back to sleep, or I want to try to sleep all day, or I hope that, tomorrow I don't wake up. And that's a really low place to be.
Money doesn't make you happy.
It doesn't.
I mean, I've had a lot of money saved up. Really would go blow it just to feel something. So depression to me is real. The loved ones, it's weird. You feel like you're in your own little world. And then you look back after the damage is done, like, damn, what have I done to the people that care about me? That's how I feel about it. But I was diagnosed with depression, and people would never think it. They're like, oh, you go work out, you work, you have a son, you have a girlfriend. Why are you unhappy? You have no reason to be unhappy. But every day I woke up, I'm like, I just want the day to be over. I just want to be left alone. Can everyone just leave me alone? Yeah.
A little background on me. I was actually first diagnosed with depression and actually bipolar disorder. Whenever I was in college, I was 19 years old, and I was a student athlete, had a scholarship, all this stuff like that. And like, I started to realize that, I wasn't getting joy out of any of that. Like the things that I love to do, the working out, the competing and all the stuff like that. One day it just seemed to just come to a standstill. And I went to the counselors on campus and then saw a doctor, and he told me, this, sounds like some pretty deep depression. And I was 19 then, right? And I completely disregarded it, but it will come back to bite you. You can't shove it out the way and say, I'll deal with it another time, because it will find its way back. and it found its way back and got progressively worse to the point to where recently I didn't want to live anymore, and I was really contemplating, taking my own life. So I just want to say that if you feel that kind of way, period, please, please, please acknowledge it. Find somebody who is in your corner and try to work through it, because you can't outrun it. You cannot outrun it.
And guys, even if you don't suffer from depression or mental health, if you know somebody that is, don't put them down for it. Don't say snap out of it. Trust me, if they can snap out of it, nobody wants to wake up sad. I don't think anybody wants to push people away intentionally unless you're like an evil person out of a movie. So that covers topic number 1. So let's go to, how does it affect your daily life? How does it affect your daily life?
Whew. Social interactions. I got to a place where, like, people that I love, even my family, and the thing about family is they stick around because they kind of have to. But, like, I have basically ended a lot of friendships because I was in a bad place, and I would rather isolate myself, keep everybody, at arm's length, instead of really saying what's going on, or in even my temperament. Sometimes depression comes out as anger, frustration, irritability, and I noticed that I was pushing people away because I was angry and agitated, and nobody wants to be around that person, and I get it. But that isolation, that anger, if you see somebody that that's usually happy, and then you see them getting angry or really agitated or isolating, just try to pull them to the side and say, hey, what's going on? Because I know for me, that's the first indication that I'm really slipping into my depression. It's just, taking myself away from other people when I really don't have a reason to. How about you? Yeah,
same thing. I mean, pushing people away, that give you no reason to push them away is a big indicator of depression. Like, they don't deserve it, but you really don't care. How it affects my daily life, if I don't have a routine or a goal going for that day, I'm just going to stay in bed, and it's probably going to swallow me. That's how I feel about it. I feel like sometimes I need people to snap me out of it by forcing me to do things. Like, we got to go to the park, we got to do this, we got to go work out, being accountable to being places. Because if not, I'm just going to be in bed all day and be sad, and the next day's going to get worse and worse. Also, I always, when I'm going through a depression, I tend to put things off. I always say, okay, I'll do things tomorrow. Or, like, let's say I need to go to the grocery store. Instead of doing it now, I'll say, I'm going to go in an hour. And that hour comes, I'm like, okay, 2 hours. All right, 3 hours. And before you know it, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'll do it tomorrow.
Right, you still haven't got that orange or that bread.
Right, and you're just like
3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you feel some type of way. But guys, it's a real thing. Like, I promise you, like, if you're going through it, we're not experts or anything, but I know that it's real. And it sucks because people who don't go through it, they feel like, oh, you're tripping, you want attention.
Yeah.
Nah, not really. If I wanted attention, there's other ways to get attention. I just want to be left alone. Like, that's what it comes down to. So that's how it affects my daily life. Number 3, how do you control it?
How do you control it? Okay, there's a lot of ways. Some people do absolutely need medication, and like I said, I suffer from bipolar disorder, and that snowballs into depression quite a bit when it's uncontrolled. So simple things like working out, a routine, somebody to stay accountable to, and I mean seeking that counseling, seeking that the doctors, and going regularly, they help. But as we know, with things like that, some of it is the way you see the world, and if you have an imbalance, then of course you need the medication. But it takes work beyond that. Like, it takes getting up and finding some people that understand that you can that you can do things with, they're not going to put you down, but, just getting in a routine and finding people that are willing to kind of take you under their wing. And when they see you having a bad day, say, hey, what's going on? And when they see that you're not, keeping on your meds, something like that, take care of it. This is not something where you can just go to bed and try again tomorrow. It's a work in progress. For me, it's definitely a work in progress. For me, I must say it's medication management, staying regular with the counselor, and finding a routine that keeps me
busy.
Yeah, pretty much busy, occupied. Not to ignore it, not to ignore the depression, but to not let it consume you.
I found out that so when I do my best, and so I've been able to mask it. Whenever I go work out in the mornings, like early in the mornings, my whole day seems a lot better. Like for a couple months, that's what I was doing. I was doing 2-a-days. So in the morning, I would wake up, force myself to the gym. I was paying a trainer, and I had to be there. So that's why I feel like I masked depression. And I was like, I can't be suffering from depression. Maybe I'm just down. But when I stopped doing those things, a day or two went by, my days would really be dragging. Like, I was just a completely different person. So how do I control it? Honestly, I couldn't control it. I was pushing people away. I had my own place. I wasn't picking up the phone call to my girlfriend. She thought I was cheating on her. I'm like, nah, I just don't want to be around anybody. My son, I have an 11-year-old son. He's about to be 12. I wasn't being fun with him. He noticed it. People notice it around you. Like you said, your family members. And the best way to control it, like I said, you got to have a daily routine. I was in a mental hospital for a week.
Yeah.
And that's where we met. And basically, they said you have to make sure you're on medication when you're really out of it. If not, you got to have daily goals. And you have to have a routine. You can't be sleeping really late when you suffer from depression. It's like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And just like you have to, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because like you have to be aware of it. You have to be aware of it, but not let it be like one of those things like, oh, I'm depressed. I can't do anything.
Everybody hates me.
You have to be aware but proactive, I guess I'm trying to say. So being aware that, yes, I'm suffering with this. I'm working through it. But the key word is working through it. Because if you just sit back and I'm depressed, it won't get any better. Yeah,
you got to fight it. You can't just let it consume you. So stay up, bro. Appreciate it, bro. And then we have Marie Carzell. Turned off my meds for 2 years. I've been making good progress, and I'm turning back to the person that I am because medication, though it was on for 3 years straight, my mind fucked up and licking me and picking me, having suicidal thoughts. Yeah, definitely go talk to a doctor if you're having suicidal thoughts. I've had them before. And,
yeah.
I mean, when you're with the person you love, your son's in the other room, and you still feel empty, that's a problem, right? I think.
Yeah,
I mean, that's my life doesn't suck by any means, and you're still unhappy, then I think, definitely to raise your hand and go get medical help. It's never too late. And when people are saying it, don't ignore those things. Trust me, like, yeah. I had a gun at one point. I had to make sure I gave my gun to a friend, just thinking crazy thoughts. So, I don't know. So, you can go ahead and read it out loud. So, we have a comment from a viewer, Maria Carazal. She said, go ahead.
I see my father-in-law shoot himself in the head, and that's how I got PTSD. And then my cousin killed himself, and I got depressed, but I learned how to deal with depression for 10 years. But I'm learning how to better myself. I'm not on any medications. I work out. I listen to music, and that's what helps me out the most.
Exactly.
I mean, that's not a bad thing. Certain people have different ways of dealing with things. And, like I said, I'm not a medical professional, but like there are certain people, like with anything, there's an outlier with anything. There's certain people that can work through those things, and there's certain people that cannot. If that's what works for you, then that's what works for you. But, if at any time things get out of hand and, the resources to use, medication is great. It's fantastic. It works wonders for most people and for me. But, I mean, there's just some people that don't do it. Like, I know people that use, like, alternative medicine and things like that.
Weed. A lot of people say it makes you better or worse. I've heard both. I've heard weed makes you better, but then some people say it makes you worse.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, some things work for some people, some things don't. Some people are, I guess, I don't want to say stronger, but they can just tolerate things
different
better than
way.
most. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also, guys, I think Tyson Fury is a boxer. He has a cool thing about it. He said when someone's dealing with mental health, you can't see it. You think somebody's perfectly fine. If you break your leg or something's wrong with you, you can typically see it. Okay, this person's in pain or whatever. But you could be walking the street and this guy's thinking about killing himself and you have no idea what they're going through. I mean,
yeah.
So, yeah, it's crazy. We're about to wrap it up. So, last topic, guys. I also feel free to shoot me a message if you guys ever want to talk or want to discuss anything. Shoot me a message. I'm here for you guys. Ashley has a Facebook as well. Ashley Ross. She's an Activated, right?
Yeah. So I just saw what is that? Marie's last post. She said, I did continue to go to counseling, but you got to be a stronger person and you got to be stronger minded. That's absolutely true. But I mean, that's true. You're right about that. Sometimes it takes people a while to get stronger, just like with anything physically. Sometimes it takes people to get a little stronger. There are people that do meds and then they come off of them and they don't touch them for 10 years, 15 years, and that's cool, but you do definitely have to have a strong mind and a strong will to get through depression. Like I said, it's not something that you can ignore and come back to later. But yeah, that's a good comment.
All right, guys. So, feeling disconnected. So, all right, feeling disconnected. So, how I feel disconnected, sometimes I'll be in a crowd. I'm with my family and with my friends, and I feel like I'm in my own little world. I can't wait to go home and be alone.
I'm sorry, I was reading. That's why I was leaning, looking crazy.
You're good. Sometimes I just feel like that, or I'm at work, and when I was at work, I feel like I'm not part of the group. I feel some type of way. Maybe I'm too hard on myself. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to do social. I didn't want to go outside. Like, for real, I don't want to go outside. I don't want to be left alone. And eventually it'll get better, but it never got better. And like you said, you may have a couple of days where it does get better, a couple of months where it does get better, but eventually it will come back. So that's why you need to make sure that you're on top of it and say, hey, you know what? Let me take these measures to make sure I never fall that deep again, because you're still going to fall into depressions at some point in life. But be able to recognize it and say, okay, this is not like me. Something's up. Let me go back to my routine to get me out of it, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or talking to friends about it. Guys, honestly, it feels a lot better when you can relate to people and they understand what you're going through. My ex-girlfriend and other people, I'll tell them stuff and they just won't understand. They feel like, oh, you're making excuses. But when you talk to someone who goes through it, they understand every single word you're talking about, and they just get you. Like when people tell me, hey, I'm depressed, I'm not myself, nothing, I get no joy in life no more. I'm not, you don't even want to have sex with people. Honestly, I don't. Like, I'm just like, whatever. I mean, come on now. Like, I'm not like that. But, and you know what? Also, overeating. I would like overeating. Overeating at night was something I like to do. I used to cook like I go to the gym for 2 hours sometimes. And then at nighttime, I make like a big old meal and just eat it myself. It would make me happy. And those are also signs of depression. Whenever you're eating too much just to be happy, like, that's not normal. It's not like my stomach would hurt. I would eat so much and I would regret it. Like, fuck, I shouldn't be doing this. I'm going to ruin this workout.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be gaining weight. I don't want to do that. So how do you feel disconnected?
Definitely at work. I don't know if, like, at first, I don't know if it was
My friend Brad put LOL and then Maria checked them. Ain't nothing funny about this.
Yeah. I would say definitely at work, because I don't know, there's like a stigma with mental health, and sometimes I feel like I'm walking around and everybody, well, to a certain degree, they can see the depression. Like, let's be real. If you have a big change in your demeanor, your attitude, stuff like that, people can see it. But at the same time, I felt like I was walking around with like depressed, like across my forehead, and everybody was like, oh, there's the crazy lady coming to work. So I felt really disconnected with that. Like I was there, but I wasn't there, just going through the motions, like on autopilot. And definitely with my family. I mean, there'd be times when I go see my mother and she'd be like, oh, I know something's wrong. The last time I spoke to her before I went inpatient, the last time I told her, I was like, Mom, I'm disconnected. At this point, I feel like I'm just a shell. So that disconnect is very dangerous. I feel like it's dangerous. For me, it was very dangerous because I was like really close to, making some extreme decisions. It'll definitely make you ignore and sometimes even neglect the things that you love and the people that you love in your life. And everybody can't handle that. Everybody can't handle that. Sometimes you appear to be a monster, but it's because there's nothing there.
So Marie has another one. It says, I feel like we're very in tune into the world, and a lot of people they're not in tune to the world, and they don't understand. That's true.
That's true.
A lot of people just don't understand. But like I said, it's a real thing, guys. I promise you. And until you go through it, or I guarantee you, they say 1 out of every 4 people are going through it. I think statistics are higher that will go through it at some point in life. But it's very important that you guys are there for them. But I mean, if mental health is crazy, I didn't even know the type of person I was. It's crazy. But we'll talk about that more next week. Does anybody have any questions for Ashley? Or any comments? Marie did say something. It's like you lose yourself, but you're trying to find yourself back.
Yes, it is.
You agree with that?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Any questions, guys? I'm going to put any questions for Ashley or myself. We'll answer a question apiece, and then we'll wrap it up. But it's crazy, right? It is crazy.
It is.
I was like, I can't believe I suffer from depression. It's crazy, but it all makes sense. I promise you it makes sense. So we'll see. Actually, it's hereditary, too. My mom suffers from depression. My sister does. And then 2 of my uncles have killed themselves from depression, which nobody ever told me. But now I'm like, okay, a lot of it's starting to make sense. But let's see what's going on. Any questions? Again, we'll ask one final time. Any questions? Myself.
No.
Doesn't look like it. No questions.
Well.
Oh, Marie did say something. Just stay strong and pray and believe in the Lord, and that's all I can say. Lord, we get you through this situation.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's true. We appreciate it.
We appreciate it. All right, guys. Again, Ashley and Sebastian, you guys have any questions, reach out to us. We'll make the next show a lot better. We're going to try to do 1 or 2 a week. We might do 1 in a couple days. And, maybe it touched one person, maybe it didn't, but, that's what we're here for. We're not getting paid for this, so
No.
we want people to understand that it's real. It's not an excuse, guys. Trust me. Nobody wants to wake up sad.
Right. And it's from the mouth of the people who actually experience it. There's not a whole lot of videos on YouTube. But most of them are from like
famous people,
professionals, or videos made for famous people.
Robin Williams and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and we suffer with it, and we just trying to get the experiences out there and hopefully help somebody, just one person.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, you guys will appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.